had this vision one time, and I was like, it wasn't a dream, dude. I like actually woke up, and I was almost like it was so different than a freaking dream because everything was remembered, even though I didn't wake up during the dream. And it was just like, I don't know if anyone's had a vision, man, but it was like, I was like,
I had a vision. No, I'm serious.
Let me guess.
You asked.
Let me guess. Twin Towers?
This is when I was a midget and I didn't know what the Twin Towers were or anything like that. You know, I was like just young. And that was like freaking like 10 years ago or something like that, right? And then
you were 27? Whitley tells his real age. Go ahead.
And so I saw the thing. It was like the plane coming, and then like it hit. But it was really weird because it was like 2D, like Mario or something like that. You know, like 2D. So it went and it hit, and like the towers came down and stuff like that. So go with yours.
Well, I think visions are different than dreams, dude.
Sure.
I think that we don't know everything about, what goes on and stuff. Did you ever see those ghost things? And it's like, whether you believe or not, sometimes you look at things and you're like, all right, that's just weird. And then you think, it's a pretty big place. And if you see like the freaking Earth from outer space, you're like, that's just weird looking. I don't know if it like just grew on its own or, it was like made by God and stuff like that. It's like, I have my beliefs, but what I always think is, we don't really know everything. And when you have a vision that's different from a dream, you think to yourself, is that just your brain doing it? I don't think so, man. It's just too, like I only had the one set of, and here's the thing. It went on for like 5 days. And it was all the same thing. It was like the black kind of military police, like in other words, i.e. martial law. And at one point, you guys weren't around, it was just me. And it was like a slash resistance versus the government thing. And I was like, okay, and I'm running this rubble and stuff, and I'm running, and it was all this thing. And then the other part I remember the most of was like, hi, little butterfly. The most was like, I'm trying to like scavenge, and I'm in this kind of rich neighborhood, and it's in the hills. It's green hills type of landscape, and there's like little tanks and military and like megaphones and stuff, almost like a movie. And I'm trying to scavenge and stuff like that. Anyways, I was like, I wonder if this would ever come to pass. And I was like, what would happen, like 2012? And then I did some reading this weekend, and I think I figured out what's going to happen.
What?
I didn't tell you guys.
That should be good.
I need another drink for this one. I've been studying and watching stuff. And here's the real deal, right? Like, you remember Y2K, and it's like, oh, it's like this fantasy thing, or like the Mayan calendars, 2012. Maybe they just ran out of a freaking year. I don't know. But this one's real. Okay, the whole world uses everything from oil. I mean, the plastic, obviously gas, right? But transportation, all this stuff comes from, you have to have oil. Oil is like, it's like, what did they say? I don't know all the stats, but it was like you get 25,000 freaking hours of work out of like this small amount of oil. But we're pumping it out because there's so much of it. We pump it out for like, I think they sell it for like $80 a barrel, but I mean, it only cost them $1, okay? Anyways, we peaked in the frickin' 30s in America. We were the #1. This is why America's so big, okay? The military, the might, all the stuff that brought us up to like a #1 power.
All the power, right?
Came, it's not because we had money. The reason we had money and all this stuff is because we had all this oil. And we could like start making all this stuff. And then, of course, everyone knows the world now is made from being able to get from A to B and do all this stuff. Everything is run. All of the freaking solar power and hydrogen and all this stuff. Hydrogen can't be developed for 30 or 40 years if we started now. All the other stuff like the biodiesel stuff, it costs more. You have to use gas to get it to work because of the machines and stuff. Long story short, peak oil means that when you're pumping it out and the world's needs, and then you've reached the top where the only thing you can do from this point on is go down. America's wiped. Okay, they've searched since the 60s everywhere. The last big one was, I think, in Alaska. The only thing left is the Middle East, which is probably why the Iraq War. Okay, everyone can say different stuff, but everyone, China and America and a few other countries are the last ones like scrambling. And if we have to, they'll probably take it by force because if you don't have the oil, everything stops. Everything stops.
The power. Yeah.
Everything. And we're at peak oil now for sure. It's absolutely guaranteed. So in the next 15 years, especially 5 to 10 years, you gotta understand that the world keeps going up. See, there was only like maybe 12 countries that used like all this oil, and now it's like 50, 60, and China's just going crazy with the oil because they're finally coming into this huge industrial thing and then passed, right? And it's like, it's peaked and it's going to go down, which means that what's left is going to go real expensive, but the world's still shooting up in the need, and it's going to meet over here somewhere. Well, it's reverse. It's over here somewhere in the grid. In 5 years, and God help us, in 15 years, it's not there. It's $7, $15 a gallon for cars, and it just keeps going to, and it's impossible ever for the rest of mankind ever to get oil. It's the cheapest form of energy that's ever been. Like one little handful just provides so much energy, and it's not renewable. There's no way to make it. You can't make it in any way. You can't use a solar thing. You can't use a wind thing. You can't develop hydrogen in the next 10 years. We're screwed.
Well, yeah, you could, but it would take too long for it to actually be effective.
Really, Professor?
Okay, but that's...
So if that happens, if that happens,
Yeah.
people panic. This is why they lie about it, like Exxon and them. They say, oh, there's no peak oil. They try, because it's insane. People will go crazy, right? When it runs out, the whole world can go into chaos. What happens, the first thing that happens is famine, because you cannot farm and bring the stuff. I mean, LA, for instance, it's all based on traffic, has a 2-day supply of food. That's it. 2-day supply for the whole city. The minute you can't truck,
What?
like I'm not kidding.
Are you serious?
Well, think
Oh
of
my
there's
gosh.
freaking, dude, there's 20 million people in that greater area.
That's nuts.
So the minute that you can't miss a day or two, it's absolute. So if you fast forward in my vision, it turns into a militaristic state. And America just won't go down without a fight, and we're kind of,
Right.
I don't know if we're mean, but we're just trying to take care of our own, and it ends up, it's not very sharing. America's not very sharing.
Okay, if you want to play this, if you want to play the debate, okay, that's fine. What about, well, then how does that have effect? You want to play the debate?
No, yeah.
How does that have, what's that have to do with 2012?
Nothing, he said.
It does have something to do with it.
Yeah.
So I actually moved to North Carolina to try to make the vision come true. I went to Greensboro, North Carolina, and tried to live there.
Which, by the way, Nashville and Greensboro.
It's on the same ridge.
Yeah.
One's on the one side, one's on the other.
Horizontally.
Weirdly, now we're headed to Nashville. The vision could come true in the next 5 years. And it's like you're
I
living
thought
there.
like 25.
Dude, I don't know how long it's going to take, man. I mean, how long? I can't see myself in the vision. I know that could run.
Okay.
Well, it's not,
Yeah, like first person.
it ain't like
Wait, what
20,
was that again?
2080.
Do that
Yeah,
again.
do that again. That's fun.
Police are after me.
Oh,
shit.
See, these are
You come out and freaking kill you.
these are signs of Marco you don't see.
Ah, fucking I partied before you were born, you bastards.
I ain't partying now, all right?
Fuck you, man. I'll kick you.
So anyways,
You better bleep all that.
no, dude. That's the old man pissed off. So if this crap works, dude, and the gas freaking goes down, and the cost goes up, and panic happens, because we're all like living hand to mouth in America and other countries. And then China and America start fighting. Anyways, it ends up with that freaking, because the minute anything happens, it's like this market crash that happened with Goldman Sachs, whatever it is. And it's like, I don't know if you guys know that story, but I don't have enough film to tell it, but they freaking ripped us off totally, and now they're finally being sued. It's like the minute if a recession hit a little heavier than it hit, they were planning on going to martial law. The minute they go to martial law, my vision's happening, I got the hills, I'm running. Here's the weird part, I never saw any of you guys. I don't know where the hell you are.
I heard this theory about like the visions, which I don't know if I'm sure everyone agrees or whatever like that, but like about time, like he was saying, about visions, and if something really happened, like the 9/11 thing or something like that, I think everyone thinks of time on like this, the straight line, like 1600s, 1700s, 18, and it got straight or something like that, but if time, which a lot of people believe, everything already happened and happened, you still have your free will and everything like that, but everything's already done, time's really just, here, this earth, whatever.
Well, listen, man.
In what humans know, you know what I mean?
Check this out. The thing that's real for sure is that everyone uses oil for every single thing you can think of, because that's the way we've played it out. It's true. And the last reserve was the Middle East. That's the big pot, and they have used all the technology, and they've searched for 30 years, and they've only found one other place. That's it. It's over. That's only like a month's supply. It's over. There's no big reserves kept. It's finished. So what's going to happen for sure, absolutely for sure, is we're going to run out of oil.
Dude, they've been warning that for...
We're running out. That's it. It's the end of all of the life. The suburbs where you have to commute and go to work, it's all finished. The food, Everything has to end because it's impossible to find another source. They've looked, and if they would have worked on it 40 years ago, they could have maybe developed hydrogen, which is more readily available. But the experts of all experts say 30 to 40 years if they're killing themselves, and it just won't match up. So get ready for some fun times. However, TRUBADOR can be there to ease your pain, bitches.